this is why we live this life, is because of the richness and complexity of what you're asking about. This is exactly what is addressed in the Bhagavad Gita, actually, because Krishna is, or Arjuna is saying, I won't do this. He basically so Arjuna is this great warrior, and everything basically rests upon him. There's no way that the Pandavas are going to succeed in this unless Arjuna is there. It's all rests on Arjuna, basically. And so Arjuna then he lays down his weapons and he says, I will not fight. And Krishna says, he says, no, 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 no. You misunderstand. He says, you will fight. And he says, there's no question about that. And he explains why. He says, because Krishna says, look, since the beginning of time, forever, you and I have always been together. We are inseparable. We are actually one. And I've already killed them. I've already killed the other side. It's already done. There's no way that that will be other than what's already been done, because I've already done it. But you are the actor who will actually carry that forth. And fundamentally, you have no choice in the matter, except that you can either choose to do it consciously, or you can choose to do it unconsciously. And so you can go through this, this whole tantrum, and you can lay down and you do the whole drama, and you can lay down your weapons and you say, I won't do it. But then you will do it. And then the problem, he says, is that then that's all going to be on your head. So you will kill the billions of people, and that will be completely on you. And you don't want that, he says. Or you could choose to pick up your weapons and do it consciously, knowing that I've already done it, in which case it's all on me. So like, there you go. You got your choices, buddy. What are you going to do? And fortunately, Arjuna comes to his senses eventually, and he fights. But this is exactly what that is looking at. Is so how do I know? It's puzzling, because it seems like on the one hand, it's like I'm exercising my free will to lay down my weapons and choose not to fight, right? Like I'm feeling this thing within myself that says this is wrong, and I'm not going to do it, and I'm going to lay down my weapons. But then on the other hand, what's being revealed is that there's something very deep within that is the true source of the authenticity. So actually, Krishna is that true inner being from which, so when he says that he's already done it, it's referring to creation happens from the inside out. So it's emanating from the inside. So Krishna has already done it, set it into motion, and therefore it will happen externally. And when Arjuna is expressing these concerns, on the surface, it seems like he's exercising his free will. He's saying, I, as this independent being, I choose not to do this because this seems wrong to me. But then what comes out is he starts referencing all of these rules of society. He says, well, everybody knows that it's a sin to kill a family member. So therefore, I can't do it, because society says that it's a sin, and I can't take that on, even though deep from within him, from his own essential soul, which is Krishna, it's this truth has already been set into motion. It's already there, but he's going to go against it because of the indoctrination of society. It's like, I don't want to do that because that's wrong, because society says it's wrong. And just to be clear, this is not actually an advocacy for murder. That's not the point of it. But it's just, using this as a metaphor to demonstrate that to know who you really are, you have to be willing to set aside all of the things that seem to come from the outside. And you have to be willing to be with that discomfort that might arise in that, to actually be yourself, and that you can't really look to anything outside of yourself to tell you who you are, because that's just the way that it goes. So I'm answering you by not answering you, I guess. But breath awareness is really helpful for this, because breath awareness can create or open that space that allows for that clear communication to come through from within yourself, so that you can receive that inner guidance. So ultimately, the punchline, as it were, of the Bhagavad Gita is, if I'm not mistaken, there are 18 chapters to it, and through each of these, Arjuna is asking questions. He's expressing his doubts, and then he asks questions, and Krishna humors him and answers his questions, and he's giving all of the he's giving all the arguments and the philosophy and all the rest of it for why. But still, Arjuna has these doubts. He's like, okay, that makes sense. I understand the philosophy. Sure, yeah, okay. But still, I have this doubt. I'm still not convinced. And finally, Arjuna says, look, the only thing that I believe is actually going to resolve this for me is if you can reveal yourself to me. If you, Krishna, can reveal your true self to me. Because everything else is sort of in the mind, and I'm just I can doubt it no matter what. And so the only thing that's actually going to be able to resolve this doubt is if I can have this direct revelation. And Krishna's like, well, I don't know if you can handle it, but I guess let's try it out. And so he reveals himself, which is incomprehensible. I mean, it's like everything and nothing, and terrifying. And so when he reveals himself to Arjuna, then Arjuna's like, okay, I got it. Okay, pick up the weapons, go for it. So breath awareness will offer you that, because at the level of the mind, you can always debate it. You can always doubt. And you can say, well, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that, maybe, I mean, it's just going to go on forever. All the doubting, you just go back and forth. Is it coming from inside? Is it coming from outside? But what can happen is there can be a flash. And it doesn't have to be, when I say that, it doesn't have to be some very dramatic thing. Wow, there's a flash. Something really phenomenal is happening. I don't know if anybody else is noticing that. But there's this really funny thing happening on the screen. It's a good thing I don't have epilepsy. Do other people see that on the screen? Oh, that's something else. That's amazing. It's doing a really funny thing. Somebody else saw it. Some people are seeing it, I guess, and some people are not. Yeah, some people are seeing it. Anyway, so some of us are seeing it and some of us are not. But I'll continue. So when I say it's a flash, it doesn't have to be like this big dramatic thing. It doesn't have to be some kind of external thing, but it could be just this subtle thing, but there's this something that for one instant is beyond doubt, and then you'll doubt it again the next instant. But for one instant, it's beyond doubt. It comes as this complete clarity for one instant. And in that, there can be a revelation of who you are, both at an immaterial level and also at the material level expressed and in your unique expression. And it can come in this flash, just this clarity of a direction. And I know, again, I'm answering you without saying anything, but at the same time, that's my best answer. So breath awareness done consistently, practiced consistently every day can reveal that. And so the way I would recommend doing that would be just take a few moments, just you take like a few minutes, and you can do it with eyes open or eyes closed. For many people, it will be easier to do with eyes closed. Be comfortable if you can do the practice sitting upright, then that can be helpful because otherwise what can happen is it can introduce more doubt about what your actual experience is, because sometimes it's easy to mistake the experience of that flash for falling asleep. But if you're sitting upright, it's less likely that you'll believe that you've fallen asleep. And so you'll be more likely to accept the clarity of what you've received. But if you cannot sit upright comfortably, then you could do it reclining or lying down. That's also fine. But the practice would be just relax, let go of anything unnecessary that you don't need to hold on to, and then just keep your attention gently on the breath and just allow the breath to happen. It's not about trying to control the breath. It's not about counting the breath or any particular pattern of breathing. It's just about being aware and allowing the breath as it happens. And the more intimate you allow yourself to be with that, you will receive these moments of profound clarity where everything else will fall away. The mind will become completely still for a moment, and it might only happen for a second. It might even happen for only half a second, but there will be a revelation that can happen, and it can be very, very simple, very subtle, non-assuming. So again, don't look for fireworks displays, but if you just relax and allow yourself, you'll notice that these flashes of clarity will come to you. So if you do that, that's my best answer.